the Muslims in Nigeria don't want to get rid of the Sharia law, then we should divide. We should go our separate ways. We can no longer coexist because you believe in something different than we Christians believe in. And some of you will say, the Sharia does not apply to the Christians. It's only for the Muslims. But yet, you guys are using your Sharia laws to attack Christians in the north continually. Continually, you don't even allow Christians to sell alcohol in the north. Not long ago, just a few days ago, I watched a video of a young girl who said that she was beaten up by some Muslims because she did not cover her head during Ramadan. She's not a Muslim. She's a Christian. But you guys attacked her and beat her up. And also, a man and a woman was arrested. A Muslim guy, a Muslim lady, and a Christian man. They were arrested because they are living together. They are not married. Therefore, they should be persecuted. And you guys will say the Sharia laws does not apply to Christians. If you want to arrest the Muslim lady that is in the relationship, understandable. Why arresting the Christian? Why? And you will say it does not apply. Yet you guys are continually attacking Christians with your stupid, demonic Sharia law. If you guys cannot get rid of the Sharia law, you so love the Sharia law, let us divide. You guys should advocate for division. In fact, you the Muslims that love this Sharia law so much should advocate for the division of Nigeria. Because we that are not practicing Sharia, we are filthy. You guys are the holy one. In fact, you should be the one advocating for division because we are defiling you guys. Since we are defiling you, separate from us. Be on your own. That we will be on ours. Let us separate. You, the north that is up there, that want to practice Sharia law, should be advocating for division because we are defiling you guys. We are defiling you. We cannot coexist. We can't. You guys are the holy ones. We are the dirty ones. So what is the point living together? We can't. Let's separate. Let's divide the country because we cannot coexist with this your mentality. You guys' mentality is filthy and evil. We have to separate. So
let me respond to the Supreme Council of Sharia in Nigeria now. Listen, what the world is saying and what everybody is saying is not just only a particular group of people or the US or the Igbos are saying. It's the fact that nobody is kicking against Islamic Sharia in Nigeria. Islamic Sharia that is limited to marriage, inheritance, and these other variables personalized to only the Islams, only the good Islams. Nobody is kicking against that, and anybody that will come out to kick against that is a fanatic, right? But this is what everybody is kicking against, and even the world globally, even everybody, every right-thinking person must kick against this, is the fact that political Sharia that has given birth to Hizbah, that can only apprehend the poor in terms of they have sinned. And the fact is, when you now try to distance yourself that Hizbah is not Sharia, is not a Sharia police, it is absolutely a Sharia police. And that is just it. But a political Sharia police, Hizbah that cannot apprehend one rich man and prosecute him, but they are interested in forcing people to make heaven by all means, bobbing the hair of the poor people because they didn't plan. Even in regards to bobbing, they can only bob the hair of the poor people that have refused to bob. And Hizbah as well, that destroys people business under the disguise of this is not tolerated in our state. That kind of animality cannot be tolerated in any civil society. Let me tell you something. Political Sharia is not what will promote peace and have not translated in any way into progress in any part of this world. Look at Afghanistan. Look at the rest of them. These people are living in the Stone Age ideology. And that is exactly what you people are trying to replicate in Nigeria. And I will sincerely tell you that any propounder of this political Sharia is a fanatic. I am telling you, sincerely speaking, any propounder of this political Sharia is a fanatic. And this has no space. Are you talking about political Sharia that deprives people of their freedom? Look at just what happened recently in Kano. Arresting somebody because he was eating in public when he's supposed to be fasting. Are you people supposed to force people to make heaven? If God is the person that decides who makes heaven or not, who are you to come and force somebody to do things that makes him to go to heaven? Are you assistant God? And you monkeys are hiding under the disguise of Islam. Under the disguise of Islam and perpetuating this evil. And because people are misinformed now, they are thinking now that you are standing for the religion. You are not standing for any religion. Let's put it this way. You people are just on a mission of conquest. Conquest. To establish fanatical ideologies. And there's no room for that in the space of this world today. Sharia. Is it Hizbah that brought Sharia into Nigeria? Sharia has existed in Nigeria before I was born. Because if you talk of Sharia, trying to get rid of the real good Islamic Sharia, it's like trying to eradicate Islam in the whole of Nigeria. And let me tell you something. Even in the presence of Sharia, people like we, when we grew up, you couldn't even distinguish between who is a Christian or who is a Muslim. Sincerely speaking, because it was not in the presence of Sharia or existence of Hizbah that I learned even some Islamic prayers. I had good Islamic friends. Like up till today, I can recite some of these prayers. Like Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin Al-Rahmanir Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in Ihdina siratal mustaqim siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin Rabbana atina. And all these things, is it hungry Hizbah that taught me this thing? Is it hungry Hizbah that made me to love a Muslim like me and see him as my brother? That we went to Yawon Tache, yan durun wa kun kawo ta'addanci, yan kusun uwa kuna hiding under the disguise of Islam. In aka ga muku wannan shegantakan, and it's in the regards this kind of animalistic, this kind of radical ideology that has given birth to the likes of them Shekau. Because you believe everybody must be forced to do things according to how you want it to be. Assistant God, Abi? What?
So the United States was asked to pressure Tinubu to abolish Sharia law from the Nigerian constitution, right? You see, let me be honest with you here. You see, this idea of Sharia in the first place in Nigeria is very dramatic and it should not exist. Nigeria is a multi-religious country, and as such, you should not punish people for what they do not believe in. You cannot be living in a state where Sharia law is practiced as a non-Muslim and not feel like a second-class citizen. I know a lot of fanatics who come and tell you that it is only applicable to Muslims and that it has nothing to do with non-Muslims. But the fact is, the alcohol well now they destroy from some parts of the north. Now who they do that kind of business? Now Muslims they do them. You see, alcohol no good for your land. Say it's against your belief system. But the revenue where you share from Abuja, alcohol revenue they inside. Now the same money you they carry go thief for your state, and you're coming out to tell us it is against your belief system. Now between alcohol and open grazing, which of them don't do more damage to this country? Which of them? You see this fanaticism where Niger matter.
As we speak, Islamist terrorist groups are already in Yoruba land. They struck the other day in Kwara. They struck again by killing a monarch. Nothing has been done. Nobody has been brought to book. There's a serious problem in this country. All right? A very serious one. And I don't think this is the time for anybody to be quiet, especially for the pastors. that supported this Muslim ticket, you knew. We, at least many of us spoke. We know this Muslim ticket was part of the Islamization agenda. It is jihad. What is happening in Nigeria is jihad. You pastors that stood behind APC during Buhari and during Tinubu, some of you fought violently on social media, Jagaban, to ensure that APC wins. All right, some of you did it out of religion, tribe, you're tribalistic, and some of you did it out of your political affiliation. Now you have seen, okay, the government I supported and violently brought into power, I have found that okay, they are actually killing the people that God has placed under me. What should I do as a responsible leader? Is it not to speak out? Some of you pastors that brought in this government, you've seen how many thousands of Christians that have been killed. You're quiet. I don't think you should be quiet. And members under these pastors, I hope you know that your pastors have different passports to different countries. And if anything happens, they can book a flight. Them and their family will fly out and leave you here. I hope you know. This is not the time to be quiet. Go online. Spread awareness. Go on your knee and pray. There's a serious battle going on.
Wọ́n ní tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ sun ìfipá báyàn lò tí wọ́n bá fi kàyàn, kí ni ìdájọ́ rẹ̀ nínú òfin ṣẹ̀ríà? Nínú òfin ṣẹ̀ríà, tí wọ́n bá fi ẹ̀sùn pé ìwọ ò fipá bọ́n lò tí wọ́n bá fi kàyàn, yóò lọ mẹ́lẹ́rìí mẹ́rin wá. Tí ò bá rí ẹlẹ́rìí mẹ́rin mú wá, yóò jẹgba 80. A ò sì ní gba ẹ̀rí rẹ̀ mọ́ láéláé. ولا تقبلوا لهم شهادة أبدا. Tẹ́lẹ̀ lófin ti ṣẹ̀ríà. Sọ̀sẹ́ mọ̀ pété yẹn bá jẹgba 80. Àbẹ́nìkan jẹ lójú èèyàn. Ẹni tí ó parọ́ ọrú rẹ̀ mọ́ yẹn lọ́la ńkọ́ yóò ronú. Ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn ẹlẹ́rìí mẹ́rin. Òfin ṣẹ̀ríà sọ pé á gbọ́ ní tí wọ́n fẹ́ sọ kìí ṣe láyè kan náà. Ẹnìkan sọ yìí pé ìgbà tó fanfakúfà ó yẹ ìwù mọ́ lọ́rùn ni. Ẹnìkan ní kò yẹ ìwù mọ́ lọ́rùn ọgbọ́ pẹ̀lẹ́pẹ̀lẹ́ ni. Sẹ́wọ̀n kọ́rọ̀ ẹ ti takura gbogbo àwọn mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin ọ̀jẹ̀gba 80.
Hi, welcome back. Sugarcoating of all this thing we have been doing is not gonna save any of us. Let not just be, trying to pamper anybody or trying to be nice to any Fulani or any nuts. If you notice, anytime there is any alarm on Sharia practice, the way these people always do should teach you something. Most of them always agree for Sharia to continue. Meanwhile, those of them who always agree know that if this thing remains here, a lot of Christians and many other people will lose their life. And these people, even despite the fact that they knows, they still want all this to continue, because this Christian losing their lives is not something to these guys. They just want these people to keep losing their own lives, so that these people, like, who normally think that blessings comes from unaliving people, will keep doing their thing. You see what we're going through here. If the Christian and the pastors that we have in this country remain silent, very soon all this thing will touch them, because the way they're trying to bring all this thing is not in a joke way. They're not trying to bring it in a joker way. They are trying to forcefully do it. Although, if you notice, since the US have just been watching over or put us in a particular conscience, every one of them has just been doing all this thing on a low way. They have not been doing it the way they normally do it. You know that they come to do their thing, even without hiding before, but now they are planning it behind, allegedly. Although as they are doing it behind now, once they start it, bro, there is nothing you can do. Although behind, the agenda is going on, and everything, and how they are trying to do all this thing is going on. I don't think even these thing that some persons are even saying that Muslim scared of it is part of this. It's not part of it, because this man called Tinubu is someone who does not even believe the Fulani. If you notice how he does his own things, the only problem he has as a person is just how he does some things, how he just trying to put Nigerians into trouble. He's just trying to put everyone into trouble. He doesn't know that, okay, the average uneducated people are suffering. He's just been adding tax from one tax to another. Meanwhile, he has a lot to do. What he should just focus is these people that are just pushing for Sharia, because I think these are people that are pushing for this Sharia the problem for his own tenure this time around. If not, he had just been doing well, but these people keep using this Sharia of a thing to buy people. Meanwhile, a lot of person think that, okay, he's part of it because he's also a Muslim. I don't think he's part of it, but he's part of the problem because he has the capability, or he's capable to solve it, but he does not want to. That is why I see he's part of it. So anybody or anyone who knows the man ruling today should just get close to him and advise him that the only thing they will solve the unaliving of people and make the US not to put us in a country of a particular concerns is when this Sharia thing is being abolished. Because if it is not being abolished, that is the way they will keep killing the monarch and many other people. Because last 2 weeks, as we speak, they buy a monarch from Yoruba side, and no one has come out to say anything about it. Although we are in a joke country. Because if it can happen to a monarch, who are you or who is me? That is what you should be thinking of. So let's not just be prologuing all this thing and trying to call the attention of the president so that he give his intention to this and bring it down. If this is not brought down, I don't think all this can be solved so easily. So let them just bring this thing down. That is just it. And for you, I know you may type something to say. That's what we will. Thank you.